All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to be expecting some more people, but welcome everyone to the 2026 Quad Cities Transit Summit. I'm Sarah Gambis with Bi-State Regional Commission. My colleague Ryan Schmidt will be here shortly, and we're going to be leading the summit. We'll also have our intern, Oakley Thompson, joining us shortly here too. So thank you for coming to today's meeting. So here's a little bit over the agenda. So we'll be going over some introductions, also introductions to our systems. We go over the Transit Development Plan, or the TDP. We'll go over some transit service areas, some common issues, goals, maps, and then we'll have some discussion and input. So the introduction to the summit, the purpose of the summit is to receive comments from the public, to identify current travel choices and effect on their region's transportation services. The results will allow planners to better understand how and why people travel in their region. So I'm going to open us to the Transit Summit, or the systems. So we're going to start with network transit. So we can have to come out. That's good.
Okay, thank you, everybody. My name is Austin Whelan, Transit Operations Manager for the City of Bettendorf. Just to give a brief overview here of Bettendorf's transit system. So Bettendorf Transit operates 3 fixed routes on 1-hour headways. So that means we go through each stop every hour. At the same time, we operate the service Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8:30 to 5:30, with no current service on Sundays. All buses operated on our fixed route service are ADA accessible with ramps and wheelchair securement in priority areas. We also offer a dial bus service for Bettendorf residents located more than 2 miles from the fixed route. The origin and destination on those trips must be within the city of Bettendorf. The hours of service for that are the same as our fixed route. That's currently a contracted service run by Recommend Transit. Additionally, we have our ADA paratransit service, which is the door-to-door paratransit service for Bettendorf residents who are elderly or disabled. Residents must fill out an application to be approved for this service. They're issued a card to be able to use it. Same thing with the service hours, same as our fixed route, and Transit also provides this service as well. Just a brief overview of our regional modification policy and how we handle APA complaints, as well as our Title VI policy. And then here's just a quick view of our current system map, and then we'll highlight some points of interest here. So everything from Scott Community College, the industrial park in Bettendorf, shopping amenities, health complexes, TBK Sports Complex, as well as I think that's all the downtown Bettendorf area. We have 3 main connecting hubs. The other 2 fixed route systems within the Quad Cities. 2 with Davenport City Bus up on Northridge Shopping Center and Duck Creek Plaza, and as well as service is provided over here at Center Station to connect into Metrolink system as well. Normal fare structure here, which is very similar throughout the region. $1 for normal fares, 50-cent reduced fares. A few free categories for children under the age of 5, students traveling to and from school, as well as college students and veterans. Our dial bus service, individual cash fare is $4. Paratransit, senior citizen, and individual with disabilities fares $2. Veterans also ride for free on that service as well. And we have a few different passes that we offer. We have a punch pass that's specific to Bettendorf system, as well as the monthly passport that provides service on all 3 fixed route providers in the Quad Cities. We operate on a flag stop system. So the buses are all identified based on destination signs on the front side of the bus. Identify the bus by route, number, and by color. So anybody can board the bus anywhere along the route. They just have to wait at the side of the curb and flag the bus down as it goes by. Fares, again, typically just show your pass, so we'll place exact fare, our fare boxes on board, we can take cash for those. We don't have any way of, we don't need any change or anything like that, so it's just gonna be exact fare for purchasing passes or fares. Transfers one-way trip requires more than one bus, either on our system or on another system. Transfer slip is given upon boarding, so there's no charge for, or to transfer to a different bus. One fare gets you from your origin to your destination. And then getting off the bus, again, with the flag stop system, if it's not a scheduled actual stop, we have to operate bus cords on the buses that passengers are able to pull to alert the driver that they'd like to get off. The driver will pull over at a safe spot and allow the individual off the bus. Currently use an ETA transit system for our live GPS tracking. Short little snippet of information we did just find out yesterday that they released it now, kind of updated, so more to come on that. But that'll be rolling out within the next couple of months, I imagine. Not just an update to the current app, it's a whole completely new app. So we'll go through the process of getting notifications about your riders access that. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. All right, so we are going to go back to. So let's see. So Davenport City Bus is not here yet, so we're going to wait on that one. So Metrolink, if you'd like to come up.
Perfect, thank you, Sarah.
Okay, thank goodness. We just gotta do something for our points, so I think she's running this here. Well, I'm Alan Silas, I'm the Director of Policy and Planning at Metrolink. Metrolink obviously handles the public transit from the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. Just a quick overview, I'm going to go over our services pretty quickly. Also talk about our capital program and projects, and a little bit about customer experience and kind of where we're headed in the near term. First of all, our services. First up is our fixed routes. These are our big buses. It's supposed to be known as the Metro. I don't know how many people call it that, but our fixed route is 12 routes, many of which operate 6 days a week and some 7 days a week. Our fixed route system serves Moline, Rock Island, East Moline, Silvis Island, Kirkland, Hampton, and Kelowna. We have a $1 base fare, and we also have discount and free fare programs. Next service is our ADA service, also called Paratransit. All of our big buses are ADA accessible, and it is the cheapest and the easiest option. But for anyone who's not able to use the fixed route, that is what the Paratransit is for. The cost for a one-way trip on Paratransit is $2. Third service that we offer is an on-demand service called Microtransit, and that is active in the village of Milan. It basically functions like an Uber that you can pick up and drop off anywhere within the designated service area. Again, it's only eligible in Milan. Rides are requested using a phone app called the Metro Micro Hero. The fare is $1, and again, this is only in Milan for now. And last but not least, our passenger ferry boat called the Channel Cab. We have 3 49-passenger ferry boats. Soon to have another one, we'll talk about that. We have 4 docks currently. We're planning on another one, we'll talk about that. The season is from May to October, and we kind of pledge that here more and more as the time goes on to meet the weather demands. So it's nice out early or it's nice out late. We tend to flex that schedule a little bit. Fares for $8 for adults, $4 for ages 10, and any children that are under 2 that are accompanied by an adult are free. Talk a little bit about our capital program. Capital projects are really just big, expensive investments that are either buildings or something that's intended to last a long time. First thing I'll talk about is Center Station, where we are today. Center Station actually went through a $2.5 million renovation that was completed in the fall. It kind of changed the layout in here, really refreshed the space, kind of changed where the Metro stop or cafe was, added some cool lighting, a lot of cool features, changed the bathrooms around. It's much more functional facility after the renovations. Up next, we have a new dock. This is just a replacement dock at Village of East Davenport. Our Village of East Davenport dock has seen better days, so it's time to replace it. So currently we are under construction over there, putting in pilings, all the other necessary things to hopefully be open at the start of our next season. That is a $1.6 million project. This is where our new dock is going to be located at the development in East Foley. We are anticipating that construction will start sometime in 2027. We're looking at the environmental review side of things to make sure that we're compliant with FTA and all of the other coordinating agencies. This is a $2.85 million project. It will include not only the dock, but also a parking lot with EV chargers, a new walkway, fencing, and signage. Next is our fare collection project. Metrolink is moving to a tap to pay option. So just like any other retail establishment that you can use your phone or your tap to pay card, that will soon be available on our buses. This is a $1.4 million project, and we expect this to roll out sometime in the fall of this year. Up next is our electric ferry deployment. As I mentioned with the Bend dock in East Moline, the idea would that would be the home dock, but we're going to go electric ferry. In order to procure and design something so kind of unique for this area, this is an $18.25 million project. And right now, we're currently just assessing kind of what's available. We still need to do requests for proposals. We need to see what kind of technology we can deploy here in the river. They're very common out on the coast. A lot of times, larger ferry vessels that are near ports or on the ocean, they have electric options for sure. But there are very few that are as small as what we're looking to do. But it should be the first on this. Yes, Paul?
Singing rock the boat.
Rock the boat, hopefully not rock the boat, not with the electric battery.
Then the music song.
Yeah.
Rock the boat.
Rock the boat, yeah. So the next project to talk about is our OMC expansion of our operations and maintenance center that is similar that is for the main hub of maintenance and for dispatch. We are planning on using $18.5 million to expand the OMC. The whole idea of this expansion would be to provide for some more storage and maintenance area. This is also kind of anticipated to be where our electric buses will be housed and charged. Next, around electric bus chargers. If you've never seen these before, this is what's called a Panther app. So these are for electric buses that can be charged from the top. And we are planning on installing these at all of our main terminals, the one in East Moline, the one in Rock Island, and the one here. Yep. And right now, the design is complete for these points projects in East Moline and design for the others is ramping up. Electric car chargers, kind of a strange thing for Metrolink to get involved in, but we are kind of the purveyor of money for electric car charging stations. Right now, we have $3.6 million to implement 4 chargers, 2 of them in Moline, 2 of them in East Moline. We are anticipating kind of a rolling basis of more grant opportunities coming, so we're planning on putting these in pretty much in every single jurisdiction that we have in our taxi industries. A little bit about East Point. East Point is out in East Moline. That goes under the radar of most people, unless you live on that side of town. But we do have $1.75 million to kind of revamp the building. Right now, there's a large conference space and kind of a lot of unusable, but not well thought out space for when it was first designed. So we're planning on this being kind of a backup center for our own seat dispatch. So in order to do that, we want to have a pretty clean and a ready space for that to happen, should like an emergency or something else happen that would be a tangible backup for us. Last but not least, video surveillance. This one isn't a terribly exciting project, but we do have $1 million to improve our onboard facility video surveillance equipment. We are planning on deploying that sometime next year. That one's kind of tied with another project, so we'll see, but we're expecting 2027 to have a bunch of new onboard and facility surveillance equipment. A little bit on the customer experience item. Here on the near term, the first thing that we have come out of is the 2026 comprehensive study. This is going to take a look at our current system and evaluate how it's working now, and also kind of provide some both cost neutral options to do some improvements and some expansionary options to do some more funding. So that'll be a fun time, a lot of public involvement in that one. The next, we have regularly done onboard surveys at Metrolink, but not on really a very regular basis as of late. We are planning putting together plans to do that every other year. Next is the website redesign. The website slowly has changed over time with just color and format, but we are looking to do a total revamp.
We also are pretty seriously looking at planning for bus shelters. Planning on making a large investment in the shelters, so need to think about where to place the larger ones and the normal sized ones. And last but not least, the ongoing project of our real-time signage at each of our stops. So right now we're at a point where we have real-time signage and some of them even talk. And last little bit, we are heavily online. We have Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn like anyone else these days. We have our website as well, and we have the transit app to help you plan your trip, and Metro Micro and Para app to schedule those trips. So that's all I have.
Okay. So, Davenport City Bus, Jeff, would you like to come up with the top? Okay. One second.
Hello, my name is Jeff Wolf. I'm the transit division manager for the city of Davenport. For transit never stops, and neither do I. So to talk a bit about our system, we've had several pretty big things happening for us these past couple of years. We're now have 4 electric buses in our service in our fleet now. They've been running since about the start of December. We've been very happy with those. Fuel costs have been a nice thing to see in this day of rising fuel prices. And so we're very happy with that. Beyond that, I don't know how much this was mentioned before, but we do have an ongoing transit study with Davenport, with Bettendorf, Eldridge, and Eau Claire, looking to see how to optimize our system to make sure that we're providing service to people who need to go to areas that didn't exist of Davenport, Bettendorf, 10 years ago, the industrial park, and Corporate and North cities, as well as make sure that we're handling the conversion from 2 ways or 1 ways to 2 ways to 4th Street downtown. Beyond that, we have 15 buses that start at about 6 in the morning, about 6 at night. We carry about 650,000 or so people a year through our fixed route system, and we're still seeing that number continue to grow after COVID. We're seeing more and more people continue to ride our fixed route, and that's sort of the highlight of that portrait. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're gonna go on to Davenport Transit.
First was recently appointed the transportation program coordinator for Project Now. We serve mainly Rock Island County. So Project Now is a community action agency dedicated to supporting individuals and families experiencing poverty. We provide essential services that help people meet immediate needs and build long-term stability. Right now we have the homeless shelter over in the old building. Students expired or run out. The 15th, we have been helping with transit to and from the shelter to Quad Cities. Mainly right now we're doing seniors 60 or older. Your question?
My birthday October 9th.
The birthday's October 9th?
Yeah.
So is my nephew's. Congratulations. So fares one way. From 1 to 20 miles is $3. 21 to 40 is 5. 41 on buses, 7, just doubles. Increases $2 for the 20 mile increment. Children under 4 are ride free, 5 to 11 go half price. Adults, like I said, 60 and over, they're $1.50 donation. We're not gonna turn them down or deny them if they don't have it for no payment. This was our population service for the fiscal year 25, I believe. Who we serve the rural with urban area. So the transportation challenges, I guess, skip for a step, we're gonna talk about the challenges of transportation. There's not a lot of public transportation for older folks that live off the beaten path. They really don't want to do rideshare options, they're kind of afraid for their own security. Midwest winters, they're brutal. So snow and ice covered, they want to get out. Plus, going back to the Midwest winters, the roads are quite lonely with the potholes. So they don't want to damage their own vehicles. That is the picture on it with us. So the annual cost to own a vehicle approximately $12,000 or $5,000 a month. Cost of fuel and repairs. So the funding for transportation, we did just get an increase in our downstate, so that's going to help. To schedule the ride with us, we have a 1-800 number to go straight to our dispatcher. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We do have some immediate demand response rides, but to schedule like 24-hour notice. All of our vehicles are wheelchair and ADA compliant and accessible. We offer door-to-door services. We're using the CTS scheduling software. It's taking me a minute to understand how to operate it. They're integrating voice control, voice cancel, and scheduling services in the near future. As of right now, we have one 12-passenger bus or a larger van, and 10 caravans, all of which have the ramps. The bus has a hydraulic lift. Scheduling out rides. Company people, mostly we go to medical appointments right now. But we do offer like go to the grocery store, get your haircut, go to the movies, whatever they may need, just to get them out of the house. A lot of older folks, if they stay in the house, they tend to go down the road without being exposed to the public. We do have Hugo shirts, if you like business cards with our number on it, if anybody needs a connection or or information.
Thank you, this. All right, so now I'm gonna invite, we're gonna just now sit here. Wow. Okay,
It's almost over.
I'm Shirley Childers, I'm the executive director of Luke Bend Transit. I'm just gonna give a quick overview and go from there. We've been in business since 1978. We are a 501c3. We, however, are designated a regional transportation agency for IDOT or Iowa DOT for Cedar, Clinton, Muscatine, and Scott County. We cover about 2,175 square miles. We provide urban and rural transportation. We mostly deal with seniors and disabilities. However, we do provide service to like the empowering abilities. We do all of their contract work. We also do all of the Davenport schools and students, early learning students on IEPs. And we do have both of the Davenport and Bettendorf ADA contracts. So. Okay, so in fiscal year 25, we provided 173,791 passenger trips, 833,949 revenue miles, 4,000 revenue hours, and we currently have a fleet of 75 vehicles. However, I have been previously downsized fleet, so we are going to keep at 67. Since our main designation for transportation is in the rural areas, I gave you a picture of our service areas, Cedar Point and West Scott. We have found since COVID that our county service has really struggled. We have done an on-media campaign. We wrapped 2 of our new buses in the new wrap. You can see off to the right is our regular logoed bus, but we did a special wrap on 2 of them. We are going to apply for some STA money that we can get in October to totally rebrand all of our buses so that we don't blend in with all the white buses in the area, especially in the rural areas. One thing that we have found, and it's kind of amazing, is that between the on-media campaign that we did, that is currently ready, and the wrap bus, I mean, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but to a regional transportation agency, it does. We were down to about 2 trips a day in Muscatine County, and we're currently at 8. So that's kind of impressive for all worlds. Our county service is currently about 10% of what our total services. I just wanted to show a few pictures. We had a photo shoot with you updating our website. So that was one of our buses picking up somebody showing that we have an ability to action. We do a lot of accessible transportation. So that was passengers being picked up. A couple of rider stories just for why regional transportation is important in the counties. When we did our photo shoot for our on-media ad, we went to Wilton and we picked up people that anybody from senior high-rise that wanted to go to lunch, and so we had lunch with them. And a couple of stories that you don't really realize. We had a 92-year-old gentleman. He was a farmer that moved into this non-skilled agency, and his son came over from Bettendorf just to help him learn how to ride a bus because his wife was in a skilled facility 5 blocks away, and he could not go see her without a transportation. So when you hear those stories, it just melt your heart. Another resident was telling us that she moved back. She moved from Alabama to Wilton to be with her grandchildren, and since she had lived there until she heard about us, she had not been out to get groceries once. So just kind of very much tells everybody how important all of our transportation is. This is just our team, 2 of our dispatchers, demo our operations officer. This is our night service for the city of Davenport. Everybody always says our buses are empty. You probably see our buses are not empty. They're not like when people say that, so I want to make sure that we got a shot of that. Basically, transit makes a difference. We connect people to the job, support the workforce. We're a critical part of a system to make it work. And then for us coming down the pipe, as anybody knows me, this has consumed my life for the last 9 months. We recently awarded our contract with Valley Construction for our $4.26 billion, 45,000 square foot bus storage facility. The building was ordered 2 weeks ago, and they decreased the timeline, so it should be done by the summer 2026. Exciting. That's what we have. That's it. That's all. We have any questions?
So it's up to you. Also, my colleague Ryan Schmidt and our intern will be here as well. So they'll be around the room. All right, so I want to get into our transit development plan, or TDP, for our 2026 update. So our TDP provides information and guidance on transportation mobility options and human services coordination. From another plan, we have an inventory and a profile. coordination issues are discussed, priorities, strategies, funding. Of course, public input. So part of today's summit, you will receive your input and get that into the transit development plan. We also talked about, this is also going to be adopted by committees from 3 planning areas. So we have the urbanized metro area. And we also have our region 2, which is rural and county, Mercer County, Montgomery County, and Whiteside County. And then on the Iowa side, region 9, which is rural Scott County and all of Washington County. Here's a little timeline for the transit development plan. So from October till now, we've been developing it and updating the text, reviewing the inventory. We have our transit summits this month, region 9, and also having a transit summit later this month and maybe into early April. We'll submit the draft to both Iowa DOT and Illinois DOTs and the transit providers to review in April. And it will also be receiving input from those guys in May. We'll present the draft to the committees, and we will see. We'll be having the draft out for public to review, and we'll present to the final committees in shape and publish it in shape. Here is our planning service area that I talked about earlier. So that metro area in the middle, the urban fixed route, and then we have the region 9. Which Riverbank covers in the Iowa side, and then we have the counties on the Illinois side, which will go into it. These are an existing urban transit network. And then this is some common transit issues and concerns we received from our LRTP survey done in 2025. So common transit issues that we've seen in areas that describe availability of funding, frequency, medical trips, shelters to access points, disconnections between destinations, and the non-standard work hours. So the next is planning goals. So for this, I was just wondering, and we have a kind of a large posted board in the back that is going to write down any suggestions, but these are our current transit planning goals in the TP. And so we have convenience, investment, affordability, land use, geographic coverage, and safety. And we were wondering if anyone, if these kind of work good, or we should have some new goals. So we're open to feedback. Ryan has a mic if you'd like to kind of talk into the mic. Otherwise, we can move on. But is anyone have anything to add, or just with goals? We've been pretty consistent for the last, I would say, at least 2 or 3 cycles. Yeah, so this all seems pretty relevant still, and we'll keep these goals on, and we can discuss later as well. I wanted to highlight the transit accessibility analysis that was done in 2023. We're going to be doing it again in 2026 for the TP update. So I see staff collected data from various sources that have transportation, demographics, and economic data for the various state region. Goes over population and population density, diversity index, also median income, also rural poverty level, also consider locals and population of 16 plus who use transit. Here are some maps I'd like to showcase. So this was service area map analysis. So this shows the areas with the most transit median, which is the dark blue, and where the transit service frequency is the highest. So that's the bright yellow. So that's kind of where it's showing the zoomed into the metro area and a little zoomed out. Then we have average bus frequency by 5-minute walk sheds. So this looked at 5-minute walk sheds. Walk sheds indicate areas where a bus stop is within a quarter mile or a 5-minute walk at a specific point. Walk sheds are shaded according to the average number of buses that can be boarded and even stopped during a typical 12-hour period on a day. So the darker areas have a high bus frequency and a short walk to bus route, meaning those residents can catch numerous buses from a given point. The later areas are where residents do not have direct access or have infrequent access to transit. So there are some numerous areas in the buses that do have access, and then there's some that are just a little bit more scarce. This is a new map we have. So we have access to residential and commercial areas. So this displays kind of where the residential areas, where people are living at and where, how the access to transit can be from there. So we can see a lot of transit routes overlap with both residential and commercial, but notice a lot of that in areas. All right, now we're gonna do a Menti poll. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And if you don't know what a Menti poll is, go ahead and follow and scan the QR code here. I'll give you a few seconds. Or you can go to www.menti.com and enter the code here. We're just gonna ask a few questions that will, again, help us with feedback on the transit development plan and just feedback. So I'm going to start the one there. One second. All right, so here last time, to get the QR code. Start here. Right, so, yeah.
It's over.
Almost over, get in there. So how, this nice breaker, how often do you use transit? Right. And feel free to shout out answers as well, we got the posted word right there. Also, if you want to respond, please. All right, general trial round, we're gonna move on to the next one. All right, so where is transit working well? This is a open-ended question, where you guys think transit is working well, in the area. Named or road cores. Downtown areas where schools are located. Communication factor. Provide services for dense areas. More seconds here, we'll move on to the next question. Hard urban areas. Pretty much the same, you know, those dense areas, downtowns, see that opportunities. There's city. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next question here. All right, so it's kind of, the next few questions kind of intermingle, but this one's asking what destinations, specifically employment or residence areas that need transit the most. And while you guys are answering my question, I'm going to pass on the sign-in sheet if you'd like to sign this. All right, we got industrial parks, hospitals, senior assisted living facilities, bridge areas around cities, Western Park area as part of employment, employers, bylaws. And regional, organized groceries, medical shopping, Iowa, own connections. So let's talk about a few more seconds here and then we'll move on to. Okay, so what destinations, areas are not served currently? These areas we will definitely focus on MTBP in the, local public involvement section, as well as needs and strategy section. These are two big areas, that all things agencies and by state with that, when determining, what so. All right, yes, in policies, trailer parks, I see, this, I see, UK sports complex, limited service options, also to Claire, North Borough, is in Maine. Okay, so, really those outskirt areas. Like, not the city area. Yeah, okay, 1 second from the revised statement on some student. Right, also. All right, and then where does transit need most improvement? So again, these kind of overlap, so if you wanted to say the same answer, that's okay. Sometimes that is what happens where things are just the same, like for one question or whatever. So where you can transit is the most suited. So it could be there or it could not be there. So Paul and I have option. Frequency to already start areas of use. And I will say also that these questions and answers will all be to the transit summit summer support, so that will be in TP for this summit. The rural areas, Western Island to Central Island, which is between systems. Okay, we're gonna move on, we get over the services. All right, and then what would you like to see in policies that most benefit transit or would benefit transit the most? So this doesn't have to be areas per se, it could be equipment, buses, that kind of thing. One thing more term. High levels of coordination. Multi-transit connections. Urban retail development guidelines for pedestrian bike amenities. The property section. More bike and walking trails, focusing on multi-transit, passenger rail. As passenger rail is a big thing with passenger transit in general. Kind of gets in the mix of this transit, so. It's big for this, not so much in TDP, but in our moderation to achieve money to talk about. For Chicago. All right, and move on. That's it. Sorry. So let's go on to back to presentation. Once. All right, so signs going around. We also have a table up here. We have our transit development plan surveys. So, we have QR codes up here, QR codes on the screen here. We also have, copies that are, you can fill in just right here. So if you'd like to fill those out, so existing ridership survey, we're looking for riders that are already, existing riders. And then the committee, transportation survey, open to anyone to fill that out, and this feedback will go back to the TDP. And, like I said, there are some copies up front, I have my business cards up front as well, but, need for, input. But that is all we had today, so I'm gonna be opening it up now for discussion. I know that we mentioned earlier, I was doing a, tech study, wanted to come up and talk about that. But yeah, now it's a kind of open forum for any discussion, and like I said, we have, Brian here will have a mic if anyone wants to talk,
It's over.
This one, if you want to talk about it, are you okay?
Yeah,
You also have the surveys.
that's okay. It's over my now.
Yeah, now we're talking, wrong talk.
Really?
So, do that, I haven't met Ed, I'm Chelsea Warren, I'm with AECOM, and they're a consulting design firm that is working with the city of Davenport as a contracting authority, but really communities of Bettendorf, Davenport, Clare, and Eldridge on an Iowa DOT funded study that is going to be going to February of next year, looking at transit optimization within Scott County. So looking for ways to realign service that meet the current demands of the area. So the way that areas have developed, such as the Eastern Iowa Industrial Center, the Batflex area, kind of the fringe urban rural areas where development has occurred since the existing routes were established, such as, of course, the Clare and Eldridge. The post-pandemic environment and how travel plans have changed. So, all those things that will be providing some recommendations on service realignments and how service can be deployed within Scott County between two government structures of Davenport and Bettendorf, but in a way that is more seamless to the rider and in ways that are able to help the transit system thrive. And really be an economic generator for Scott County, as well as obviously connect especially and work with the streets for plan that they're making these starts and how coordination can occur. So riders oftentimes don't care what bus they're riding in terms of who's operating that vehicle, more so how their trip and their rider experiences. So we are currently in what we are calling phase 2, which is our public engagement and stakeholder interview process. So over the last 4 weeks and into next week, we've got to have stakeholder interviews, so work sessions with organizations, businesses that serve current transit riders or have the opportunity to serve individuals who are likely to transit. So tomorrow, I'm going to work with some of the secondary education, college and university representatives in the areas of their feedback, not industrial park representatives earlier this week, school districts, Eldridge, and very specifically. So, number of folks. Next up in the next month, we'll be doing a public input survey. So reaching out to riders and non-riders alike to understand what their needs are, what opportunities there are, and draw some time to those. And then working through the fall to develop recommendations for training adoption before January, February next year.
Thank you, Chelsea. Okay, so like I said, yeah, this is now open to discussion. I'm gonna keep sharing for a little bit here, so there's maybe only one online anymore, so I probably will end this meeting here. So thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate the feedback, and like I said, there are some survey things you want to disperse them as well. So thank you. Mhm.